All right, hello, welcome everyone, welcome everybody. A little bit late today. A little bit late today. Um, that should be all right. Should be all right. So I was just covering the layout and updating the actual balance and stuff. And yeah, nonetheless, 2:53 a.m. So 7 minutes ahead of the silver bullet hour for long open session. Holiday today. Across the board, holiday in Europe, holiday in States. So we'll see what we get. Uh, we'll see. Expectations are no biggie, but the fact that we had such a nice and large gap opening on the new week opening up is something that makes me personally interested uh, in this market this week. Yeah, besides that, we'll see what we get exactly out of it. And yeah, doing a little bit of spring cleaning in here with the levels, but nonetheless this is the new week opening up high, and I will add the new week opening up low and the consecutive encroachment for a good measure, because why not? Consecutive encroachment. All right. So nonetheless, we gapped up, we traded into the all-time high, and then kept on going higher, kept on pushing higher basically. So we are in a deep premium after all. And yeah, we'll see what we get, but I'm rather more prompt to look for shorts versus looking for longs with all of this. We'll see what we'll get, but yeah, I would prefer looking for shorts nonetheless. So I'm annotating some nice and smooth pools of liquidity that are technically relatively equal lows in nature or by nature. I'll do the same analysis here on Nasdaq too. And basically same idea. So symmetrically working together. New week opening up low. New week opening up high. And the consecutive encroachment too. All-time high being taken out, and then price kept on pushing, kept on going higher continuously until right now. So from any like smooth levels on the downside, I like these. I like these, and I like potentially these. This here. That looks like a solid pool of sell liquidity here right now, and that's something worth observing, I guess. Have some relative equal highs in here. And interesting enough, we have a measure of SMT right there, where Nasdaq makes a lower low, lower high, and ES makes a higher high right there. So that's an SMT on the highs. Right, and the dollar index gapped lower for the new week opening up. But still stays around this consolidation in here. So I'll annotate the gap, and we'll see whether it will want to trade up into it first, which this looks like a bear flag in here. I would say it's reasonable expectation to expect it to trade up into that new week opening up. We'll see though. But there we go. We start the 3 a.m. silver bullet hour for today. Around here. Yeah, we'll annotate this inefficiency in here too, as it's the very, very pronounced imbalance before these radical lows. So that's something that can act as a draw on liquidity too, right? So this is kind of what we've got, and now we are watching price. So let's see if it will show anything proper for me to engage it by any means. As far as I know, there is still a morning session available for us today, but there is no PM session due to the holiday early close. So that's how it looks like. So for hello, Mr. Trader P1. Hello, hello. Welcome, guys. By the way, I hope you had a nice weekend. Maybe you still have a weekend, a longer one. That's also great. But yeah. But yeah. Okay, so let me So currently we are part of a larger, more prolonged consolidation in here. Just going sideways, sideways inside this range. We have relative equal highs also left. There was a measure of SMT on the highs initially. Yeah, yes, the sales liquidity here, that's respective to Nasdaq, is way, way, way closer to the price. So that's that's not necessarily something that I'm very, very much interested in right now. I like this lower one. This lower one is really, really nice and really, really smooth. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, very equal. 4, 5 touches. I mean, this one is very good. This one is very good. And it's also linked or close to the all-time highs, which can always be worked around 2. So this is my initial idea that I would love to look and watch whether we can offer an opportunity to get down there and clear that out. Right now I don't necessarily see anything that's very, very obvious or anything like that. Price is just same as Nasdaq, a part of a larger consolidation in here. So I guess I just, you know, watch and wait. I understand that today is holiday across the board, which can mean that this type of tight ranges and prolonged consolidations are more likely than not. But if I would be interested in something, I'm interested in those relative equal lows here from the Asian session as a potential draw on liquidity. And yeah, they are very, very, very nice in here, very clean. So that's something I will be watching today, I think, predominantly. So until this level is active in here, I'm potentially interested in it. So that's kind of like my initial thinking going into this day and into this week. This level is around 15 handles away from where we are right now, but no setup as it is here. No setup that I like by any means. I'll add the 3 a.m. the marker and yeah, I just watch price from now on. This is somewhat like a first presentation for the London Open session. London Open session 2:02 a.m. Nice displacement, taking a short-term low. That's a perfect candidate for our first presentation for this time being. So that's something that I definitely want to consider and or use potentially. So far we traded up into it, respected the lower half nicely. And now if it's really good, if it's really going lower, we would like to see quick move away from it, right? I'm a little bit cautious, so if it will show me that it wants to stay inside of here a little bit longer, then I guess I'm willing to allow for it in a sense. But yeah, because there is this SMT in here also on the highs, that also makes me like think that we don't really need to go above it at this moment if the sell side is the draw. So that could be theoretically or technically an interesting area to look. But again, we don't want to spend too much time in here. We just would like to touch the level, kiss and go. So far it's not the case, so I wait patiently. So I'll patiently wait. Yeah, first presented fair value gap. That's the first presented fair value gap for London Open session. Okay, this is somewhat like what I would anticipate or consider. In terms of like a setup. If it was not holiday everywhere, then probably that would be like an easy sell there. But because we are at the all-time high still, because it's holiday volume, I'm a little bit cautious. But if it means that I don't know, I would miss something or anything like that, I'm fine with that too. So preferably what I'm looking for or waiting for is a nice displacement right now, currently. We did enough work inside the first presentation in here, in my opinion. So if it's good, it should be moving away from it quickly and not really needing to come back by any means. Because if it does, that only is a signal that we are likely to continue this consolidation a little bit longer. So I guess we'll see what we get. I guess we'll see what we get. But yeah, 2 times traded into it, now even left relative equal highs in here. So that's a little bit suspect also, but yeah, no reasonable or no significant inefficiency or imbalance after the 3 a.m. also suggests me that I shouldn't be necessarily in rush by any means. But that's like the idea that I have in mind that could deliver still in here. I'm currently not in it, but if it would start offering a cleaner inefficiencies, cleaner displacements to the downside that are really nice, then I can always consider entering on those. But yeah. Let's see if we can leave it as it is, open in here. And let's also see whether we can easily tap into those relative equal lows here, because that's like a first measuring point, I guess, right? I suppose. All right, so we tapped into this short-term low in here, and we formed a first presented fair value gap basically for the silver bullet hour in here. That's a CB. And now this one is kind of key. I'm still not like hopped on the goofballs to just enter on it just like that blindly, because I don't know, I have maybe too much respect to the all-time high scenario at this moment, and to be targeting relative equal lows, as I got burned a lot many times before doing so. I feel like this is really like obvious and clean that it should go lower, but yeah, nonetheless, it doesn't look as clean after all, in my opinion. But nonetheless, this CB in here right now is key, because it took that short-term sell liquidity here, right? And that's the last inefficiency ahead of it. So if it's really bearish, if it's really bearish, it should respect this CB very well and aggressively sell off. By any means, it should not be inversing this, because that wouldn't be a sign of weakness then. But yeah, the range is still very tight, and it's really small. The fair value gap itself is like one handle. It looks like it's large, but it's not really. Yeah, just because the ranges are kind of compressed. So yeah, you know, but nonetheless, we tapped into it here politely, and we moved initially lower. Let's see if we can like really nice and quickly repel price lower, because that's quite frankly what it should be doing if it's really good. Otherwise, we are still kind of like part of this prolonged consolidation, which is the reason why I'm a little bit more cautious to enter the market just like that and risk the fact that it could stay consolidated. And then if that's the case, not only I could get stopped out, but I don't want to be a part of a consolidation. But yeah, if it's good, the sell side in here should be attacked quickly and being taken out in minutes. All right, looks like the Nasdaq is also selling off nicely, and it had a nicer fair value gap there, to be honest. Nice drop towards this sell side, and now nice extension in here. So yeah, I mean, I suppose that was the idea. That was the idea that yeah, I could have maybe engaged. And if it wasn't a holiday, I think I would have been in it there. But yeah, holiday volume maybe got me a little bit afraid. I guess that's fine. That's still reasonable. As price moved reasonably well off of my expectations. So from my hypothetical entry here to my hypothetical exit here, it would have been delivered rather nicely. But yeah, obviously I didn't took it, so it's not like a actual trade, but that's what I had in mind. So not too chubby. Yeah, right now it gets a little bit more tricky. We closed below the event horizon here, so that's interesting. But generally I feel like either this first presentation and or the SIBI was like, these were the two opportunities to actually get involved, and now I believe the move is getting closer to be done, to be completed, and shouldn't be necessarily chased at this moment. So yeah, I'm watching the sell side liquidity here, whether the price could go there. Reasonably expected, but obviously we'll see what we get as we are at the all-time highs after all. But yeah, let me take this limit off in here right now. That was the idea, but I was I hesitated to execute on it, and in hindsight, yes, it delivered, but I didn't press the button after all. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And yeah, that's not like a huge amount of movement and range being covered, but it was logical. It formed and moved from the logical levels that I was able to outline towards logical levels that I was able to outline. And overall, not too chubby though, not too chubby. Still, I'm gonna be watching whether we can see those relative lows here being attacked or not. If not, then this will be interesting pool of sell side liquidity staying for like, I don't know, maybe the pre-market or maybe the AM session, depending on if it's still viable, still active. But yeah, god damn it, nice little price running here. So now we are retracing deeper into the SIB in here. So let's watch it. Let's watch it, but right now I wouldn't be, or I'm not comfortable with going short, for example, here, as I believe that the move could go for the lows, yes, but it rather should do it right away than offering like a deep retracements, because that's a little bit more problematic, I would say, especially due to the holiday. So if I would be able to be done at the event horizon as I would intend, then I would be very, very content. And now we'll see. So we already traded the consecutive encroachment of this large CB, large imbalance in here. I mean, large relative to the current range, basically, or generally. So that's already a little bit deep of a retracement higher. Nasdaq also cleared, or Nasdaq actually cleared the sell liquidity in here that it had, that I was outlining. So that's nice. And Nasdaq had a nice fair value gap that was bearish in here at 313. That's the same one. Yes, that's the same one. So nice little rip lower. So yeah, I mean both indices performed pretty well with that little drop in here, but now keep the powder dry, and I'm expecting a little bit of like return into some range consolidation type of trading. And with that, it looks like we will spare the sell side liquidity in here for the morning session, maybe, to run out, and that would be actually even preferred. I mean preferred. Then if that's the case, the morning session is more likely to have a how would you call it, more pronounced setup, or a larger price swing afterwards, right? So that's kind of what could be in play for the morning session silver bullet later today. But yeah, this in itself, 10 handles, was nice. But yeah, I missed it. I hesitated on it, then took it, and it moved away without me. So it's gone. I mean, there is no point of like trying to chase this move at this moment here, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's already done, and the probabilities are not as high probability for I know, reshorting this by any means. And the fact that we already recouped all of this SIB in here is already a little bit suspect. And yeah, so let's see, because how large the SIB is, and because how we are rangy, there is a large, or quite large likelihood that we will be spending some time inside of it, right? And if that's the case, then obviously that's a not a good condition for engaging the marketplace, I assume. Yeah, I mean, it clearly looks like it wants to come back inside of the range right now. A little bit more. And the fact that it went into the upper half of the CB and spends time inside the upper half of it. That's not really that conducive for continuation lower at all at this moment. And taking into consideration the fact that it's holiday volume, in my mind, that there are like low probability for seeing a continuation at this moment. Obviously not impossible, but it would be hard or difficult to frame a solid risk to reward type of idea. I don't ever use volume profile. I never look at it. And good morning, welcome Sonia. Good morning, good morning. London City. Well, well. Alright guys, so we are entering the 3:30, and as always the 3:30 is like quite important, quite conducive for the London Open silver bullet in here. So let's see what it will do. So far it kind of looks like we are running a risk of a consolidation in here, but let's see. You're experimenting with volume profile with ICT. All right, interesting. But yeah, I mean, I personally never really looked at it, so yeah, I can't help with that actually. But yeah, maybe there is something to it, right? Maybe you can mine from it. Volume profile works with fair value gaps well. Yeah, so maybe Mr. Breaker Futures could help. But yeah, as we go, I think, or I feel like for this session, maybe it's not done completely, but in my opinion, I feel like this price run here lower, that was kind of like it for this long open silver bullet, and then anything afterwards is kind of a little bit more 50-50 and iffy, and less conducive for a nice delivery. So that's why I'm like not even hovering my limit orders, because I'm really not necessarily interested in entering anything at this moment. So because it's holiday, I would say like ending the session in here wouldn't be even as bad. But let's see, I mean, let's see what it does after all. But for me at this moment, I'm like 90% morning session is my go-to at this moment. But yeah, exactly, not necessarily to engage it, but observing is really good. So we went above this large SIB in here on a closing basis. So now let's see if it offers any inversion type of ideas or signatures out of it. That could be that could be the case in here, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm really not interested in going long, to be honest, at this moment or today. So far, I'm really not interested in going long. So yeah, even if it delivers here higher, I'm pretty glad not being a part of it. All right, so this smashed right on through this CB, right into this first presentation. So it looks, yeah, kind of suspect that they could be smashing for a new all-time high. Let's see if Nasdaq matches it. Yeah, Nasdaq has a large rally too. Not yet at all-time highs, but it's close to it. So yeah, this is generally a price run that I personally wouldn't necessarily like to be in engaging it. But again, look at the time. 3:30, I said next price swing will likely start, and then it smashed higher off of the upper half of this, using this as inversion and smashing the high, the all-time high basically too. And that's where we are at, sparing the sell-side liquidity in here for now. And that's actually what was expected, kinda. And that's actually what I like, because if this level is there for the morning session and we are in some close proximity to it, like 20-30 handles away, then I would be really, really glad to use this as a potential draw then. But yeah, obviously that's like a lot of if then type of scenario where shit can happen always, right? And this type of shit happened already. So yeah, Nasdaq not matching the high currently, but it's likely to possibly work its way up there, I suppose. But yeah, that's interesting. So it basically cancels out the SMT in here. Yeah, it's already like kind of worked out by the time we already delivered this price run lower in here. That, in my opinion, was way better than this run up. This run up is much more poor in general delivery and logic, but yeah, all-time high scenario, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. All-time high scenario, these type of shenanigans are or need to be expected, and that's why I wasn't looking for any shorts after we did this run in here, because I saw that potential of these type of shenanigans happening. And imagine if I went short on this CB here or even here, I would get cooked immediately, like instant cooking. But yeah, I was wise enough to not get involved in that, and that's good. That's good. Besides that, we'll see what we get, but we already took sell side here and buy side here, and now the most logical area to expect to see the price go next would be the equilibrium of this range. And after that, I mean, already it's kind of 50-50, but after that it would be even more 50-50. And yeah, How about you guys? Are you trading this London Open on holiday? Are you satisfied with the price delivery that was offered already, or is it just a nothing burger just to watch? No, I see. That's reasonable. Very reasonable. But what I'm thinking personally about nothing for breaker futures. All right, that's interesting. Because Mr. Breaker Futures has a trade usually every 5 minutes. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But yeah, fair enough. Same, but like using a little bit of imagination in here and looking into the future. All right, so let's imagine quickly that we will be, let's imagine it's 9:30. Let's say price is where it is and it's 9:30. Look how large premium opening range gap we'll see. At the time, right? With those relatively low, if they are still available at that time, so post 9:30, these relatively lows will be my draw liquidity then, and I would really like to see them being attacked at that time, and maybe even offer some more pronounced run, but that would be like the go-to idea. So yeah, looks like I will be there for the morning session, at least the silver bullet, right? The 10 to 11. But I'm already like painting out a scenario in my mind that if we match those criteria, so a premium opening range gap, and the sell side here is still available, I think there is a quite large likelihood that we'll see a nice run into it at the time. At least that's what I will be watching, or that's what I'm watching at 3 a.m. thinking about the next silver bullet at 10 a.m., which is like 6 hours away, which is a little bit ambitious, I guess, but yeah, I guess I'm living in the future. So yeah. All right, so we are recouping a little bit lower in here, so that run to that equilibrium of this range in here is reasonable, as I said, and it's around here, so in between those, the CB and this inversion. And yeah, Mr. Sergi, it's a bank holiday. It is, and it's a bank holiday across not only the US but also across the Europe too, and I'm aware of it. Therefore, I'm cautious. I'm really cautious about engaging anything. And yes, I can trade it, but yes, the price must be really clean and obvious for me to engage. Right now it's not, so I'm not worrying about it, but observing is still a worth endeavor to do. I don't know if you were watching from the beginning of the stream. If you were not, then I would recommend you to go back rather than watching right now, because right now it doesn't look that much interesting, but in the beginning I was pointing to this first presentation and this CB and the likelihood of those relatively close being attacked, but the event horizon being the actual cap, potential cap of the move. And that delivered. I didn't participate it, but still that was like a moral victory on my part. And if that were not the holiday volume today, I would have been participated in that price run like 90% of time. Great, that's great, Mr. Sergi. That's great. Kudos to you. All right, guys. All right. By the way, I'm seeing that we have pretty steady viewership today, capping around 10 people at the time, which is pretty nice for the holiday volume and for our little community growing. So kudos to you guys for watching and following the series. Hello Money Glitch. I don't know who I'm dealing with in terms of the viewer. So I don't know if you guys know what I'm doing in here, but because the market isn't doing too much right now, I can maybe quickly explain the whole point of this series that I'm ongoing currently. The Silver Bullet Road to Million. That's a series that I started 2 weeks ago, so it's still very fresh project that I'm currently working on. And the idea is very simple, just like the title says. I'm basically using the Silver Bullet model only. That's, by the way, in the description, the exact model that I'm using. And I'm using that exact model to scale my way up into the $1 million payout. And yeah, I split it in separate and different phases. Currently still dealing with the phase 1. And the phase 1, the idea behind the phase 1 is to pass the first 50k evaluation. That's my first attempt of doing so, and I'm currently like 1/3 there, so progressing nonetheless. After a rough start, by the way, because my first week I lost every single day, and I drew the account by like over 1k or so. So it's a comeback story so far, nonetheless. And yeah, going forward, I will be just doing the same things, showing up 10 minutes ahead of Silver Bullet hour, and then trying to outline the next Silver Bullet as best as I can and engage with it once a day, win or loss, whatever I get, that's it for me. And yeah, that's how I'm planning on scaling in eventually on the funding, right? Eventually growing the account basis and seeking to grow this whole endeavor in such that eventually I could reach the $1 million mark using only the Silver Bullet model that is in the description and that I'm using since the beginning of this series. And that's the idea behind it. So if you would like to follow that series, if you would like to, you know, keep tracking that, then feel free. Everything is transparent, everything is shown, no gimmicks. I believe few people that watch me or follow me since long time, that are many times in the chat, could tell you that I'm not a scammer in here, and I'm not scamming you for anything besides your attention. That's the only thing that I might be taking from you. But yeah, that's how it is. So yeah, we are going into the 350 macro in here, but with current structure, I'm really not interested in engaging anything. So if that's the case, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, if I don't engage with a particular silver bullet time window, like the London Open session right now, then I'm having the opportunity to still engage in the next one, which in this case, for me, will be the 10 to 11 New York time, always New York time, AM session silver bullet. And that's the last one for that will be used today because it's a holiday volume today and we have earlier close. We'll see that. So yeah, the AM session is the last chance, but yeah, we'll see what we get there nonetheless. And yeah, no problem, Mr. Trader P1. I'm doing my best, and I will keep going. Yeah, 12 a.m. market close. Yes. I know. That's why the AM session silver bullet will be the last one, and there will be no PM session because the market will be just closed. So yeah. But tomorrow we'll have a full rotation. I mean, depending on when I will find my setup, but we'll go back to normal. So I guess that's fine, or pretty fine. But yeah, one last thing, because yeah, again, I'm really not interested in anything in here. I want to talk a little bit to you about some more macro perspective. Let's take the annotations off and go to the daily chart. And I would like to tell you what I'm expecting going into this week, into the next coming weeks, potentially. And yeah, so we are at all-time highs currently on the daily chart, right? Pretty extended after a very one-sided rally to the upside. And just recently, price formed this more intermediate type of retracement in here, in regards or in comparison to this whole range. And basically what it did, it placed this swing high in place and then moved a little bit lower, enticing some people to go short and stuff like that. But nonetheless, what it really did was it formed and engineered a pool of buy-sell liquidity right above it. And maybe that's not a rocket science, but at this scenario where we are right now, at the stage of this run where we are right now, this engineered buy-sell liquidity and this high also will be a strong area for many people to treat it as a breakout and or as a support to the upside. And a lot of people will, in my opinion, like to go long in here. And if it will work for them, then kudos for them. But what I'm anticipating is that we might see a measure of more pronounced distribution to the downside happening at some point or at some time after running this high in here. How many stages of running the liquidity on the upside we'll see, I don't necessarily know, but that's something that I will keep in mind, or that's something that I'm keeping in mind, that they already prepared those relative equal lows in here for a potential exit liquidity of their shorts that may be coming. That's not a very like hard bias for now, but that's an idea that could develop, and that's an idea that I'm personally favoring coming into the next week or two. So we'll see what we get nonetheless. Obviously, if I'm wrong with it, I'm wrong with it, and no skin off my back, but rather than keep on buying, keep on chasing higher, at this moment or at this point of the run, I would give it at least a reasonable consideration that it could be rolling over, and all of this run up in here is just preparation for you know, like a deeper premium to then send it. But yeah, that's something that I have in my mind. Let's go to the 1 minute chart, and it's doing really nothing in here. So I think that's going to be it for today. It was a pleasure as always. Holiday volume. Still, this initial price run lower, a really nice one. Small, but yeah, I liked it. Everything after that, I'm less interested in, but yeah, it is what it is. So we'll see each other at or during the AM session. If you want, then feel free to join. I'll be there for sure. So yeah, thanks for watching nonetheless, and see you guys 10 AM New York time for the morning session Silver Bullet. Until then, I wish you a pleasant reminder of the day. So see you guys later. Bye bye.